Hey everyone! Today I want to show you how to deploy a decentralized dynamic website on the Blockless testnet. The decentralized dynamic front-end we provide completes the last mile towards true decentralization, unlocking the potential to create fully decentralized applications without limits. Let's get started. On the left, you are seeing the code base we will soon deploy on the Blockless network. And on the right, you can see our Blockless console, which we use to observe the deployed function and play around with environment variables. Let's take a look at the code. What you are looking at on the left side is a very simple yet complete framework for a web front end. As we go through each folder, you will see that this code base has static assets, which can be served to the user's web browser directly, and dynamic content, which requires computational work before serving. The Blockless decentralized workers will take care of this. Here we've got your components, written in TypeScript that you can reuse. In the public folder are all of your static assets, such as the PNG image shown here. We also have jQuery, JavaScript, and some CSS in this folder as well. So these are the static files. For dynamic content, we have multiple environment variables embedded in the codebase. This allows us to pass in value via the Blockless console and see real-time change on the front end. We've also got an API you can call to request data. Okay, let's build and deploy this codebase using Blockless CLI so that we can start seeing some results. On the bottom left in the terminal, we just type bls function deploy. This command builds the codebase and packs all of the static public assets into one single WASM function. This function, or the web front-end source code, will then be deployed to the Blockless worker for execution and serving. The build and deployment process usually takes about 10 to 30 seconds, depending on the size of your website. Our website has now been deployed to the Blockless network and is running in a decentralized environment. You will see the function pop up in the Blockless console on the right side of the screen. Let's take a look at our simple web frontend by going to the settings and clicking the URL provided. We've got this nice, awesome little page serving for the Blockless workers. I think it's time to show you some features only available when you can render content dynamically. Let's go back to the Blockless console. As I've mentioned, we've put a few environment variables in our codebase which can be changed in our console and rendered in real time on our web page. Let's try to change the app name. How about Blockless Awesome App? Let's refresh the page. And there we go. The variable is passed in with encryption to the Blockless worker. The worker dynamically renders the page and serves to the browser as we've just seen. You can also use the environment variable for any secrets that you don't want to expose on the client side. Why don't we try one more? This time, let's change the footer. And here we go. After the refresh, we've got it. What you're seeing in the middle here is actually an API packaged in the same Blockless function. Again, we can change the environment variable. But this time, the worker is going to retrieve the data for us and display it on the page. Let's try tether and change the coin ID. The page is set to refresh every 15 seconds, so you will see the change soon. There we go. Now we have Tether's data displayed on the page instead of Bitcoin. And all of this happens dynamically with our Blockless workers. Remember the image we have in the public folder? Using the Blockless worker, you can also serve your static assets and treat it as an edge CDN network. And we got it. Finally, let's see if we can get back the API data in JSON. And there you go. We got the data as well from the Blockless workers. And that's it. Thank you all for giving the process a spin. The Blockless decentralized infrastructure allows for dynamically served content. This enables projects to offer an end-to-end decentralized experience to their user base. This feature revolutionizes the way people build dApps. Blockless is thrilled to provide the tools needed for Web3 to become more decentralized and scalable. We'll see you again very soon.